Well, it's been 10 years, and it's something that we have talked about ad nauseum, but it finally happened. Hey everyone, welcome back to an impromptu Xenoblade news, and quite frankly, I'd like nothing better. Yep, the day is the 29th of October 2024, and by God, they finally did it! Xenoblade Chronicles X has escaped the Wii U prison.
Bit annoying that it was shadow dropped though.
Yes. And we'll get into all of the details and our opinions, but Nintendo have released a trailer, and it's not just a port, ladies and gentlemen. They've done something a little bit more. But for now, let's watch, and then we'll show our reactions and opinions afterwards.
Well, here we are. Not too shabby, huh? For a giant beached spaceship, anyway. But, like it or not, this place is our home now. We took the name from the city it was modeled after back on Earth. We call it New Los Angeles. Welcome to NLA.
And so it was that another survivor came to join our band of refugees. Together, we resolved to forge a new way of life here on Mira, come what may. New LA was our beautiful lie to ourselves. Truth is, we were adrift, heading into the unknown. Our native home was gone, swallowed in a shroud of light. And our future was uncertain. We had no idea what fate lay in store for us. Only that we had to keep living in order to see it.
Fancy seeing you here.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have, a release date. That is in March of next year. For me, I'm hyped because, honestly, I was kind of worried that there wasn't going to be much gaming for us next year. But I can happily say this is going to take up a lot of our time. And not only that, Monolith have done it again. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. They've done it for the original, and now they've done it for X. And quite frankly, the original being as old as it was, I feel like this is in much more of a need of a definitive edition. And let me explain why. For one, trapped on the Wii U. And I think that, as track record has shown for a lot of IPs that started or had big games on the Wii U, but they did not sell well or do well, the Wii U, I feel like, was a crux for a lot of those titles. But as we've seen through all of the ports and redos that have come from that console, they've done exceedingly well. This one, I feel like, is going to be a prime example of the Wii U was holding a game back. Now, don't get me wrong, it was fun on the Wii U, but in terms of graphics, in terms of performance, in terms of user-friendliness, story content, it was lacking in a lot of departments. And one of the things that Nintendo have touted in their initial release is that this, and as we'll see at the very end, this is getting more story content. Quite frankly, the thing that Xenoblade X needed the most.
Yeah.
But now let's go through the trailer and let's go through all of the details, what we think, what we pick up on, and what we think is going to happen in the future. Now, starting off, the similar camera angles, so nothing much has been changed there. You still hear in the background Haruyuki's soundtrack. Now, if you guys don't know Haruyuki, he is a composer for a lot of anime and a few video games. And for one thing, his services do not come cheap, but also because one of the biggest hurdles regarding X's soundtrack was that it was licensed and produced by Sony.
Yeah.
And if you guys know Sony and their music department, they were notorious. Like, for example, finding X soundtracks on YouTube these days is a lot harder than what it used to be, and that is simply because of Sony. But it's good to see that they have got the rights back, and hopefully nothing about the soundtrack is going to be changed, only added.
And I think with that Sony comment in mind, as well as the fact that Xenoblade X is huge, this is probably going to be a game we're going to be streaming.
Yes, don't get me wrong, because for one thing, user-friendliness is not its biggest high point, but who knows, that might have changed. And it's all well and good up to this point, but in a couple of seconds, we'll see one of the biggest changes regarding the game.
Well, here we are. Not too shabby, huh?
And that is Elma's face.
She looks a lot like Alvis in that shot.
She has definitely changed. If just a brief side-by-side comparison, she has changed a lot. I noticed her eyes have gotten a lot smaller and her facial features have got a bit more poignant. Now, I can honestly see people how they think it looks a bit more bland or a bit more flat. For me, I like this because it sort of looks different enough that X will be able to stand on its own graphically wise and art style wise, but just eerily similar enough to tie into the rest of the Xenoblade mythos.
And not to mention that they remastered the first game so they can get updated models for 2 and 3, and that just makes me wonder if they're remastering this game.
That's a point I was going to make early on, but yes, that... I mean, to be fair, it looks good for the Wii U as is. Now, do I feel like this is going to be a graphical powerhouse? No. For one thing, it's a huge game and it's on the Switch. I'm not expecting them to work miracles. The dialogue's still the same, voiced by Caitlin Glass, which in all honesty is a great voice actress. She adds a lot to Elma. And also, I noticed that while she's speaking, it's very brief. It's very brief. But if you think back to X, a lot of the facial animations, or lack thereof, it definitely is subtle enough in which adds a bit more emotion.
We call it New Los Angeles.
Now, I'm going to be honest here, and this could be just the video we're watching via Twitter, but I'm not seeing much more of a graphical overhaul regarding the overworld and the environments. Don't
Doesn't really need it though, does it?
No, it doesn't. I mean, for the art style, it does so well on its own. That's why I said the Wii U, for what it was on the Wii U, it was really good. And again, shot for shot, nothing new here.
Lynn.
Yep, here we go.
She gives me Shion vibes now.
Yeah, again, I feel like her features have definitely been softened, especially her nose. But, and also I feel like with every character, their lips have got a bit softened up too, I guess. So, again, it really all depends on how it works in practice. Does it work via emotional moments? We'll have to see.
Yeah, because like they gave her a new parting in her hair, and it just reminds me of Shion.
Yeah, and again, could this be a way to tie it into the rest of Xenoblade? Is it just graphical overhauls they wanted to make in the first place? It's hard to say, but we'll see.
Truth is, we were adrift.
And again, the art style and the lighting engine, that is lovely stuff.
Native home was gone, swallowed in a shroud of light.
But yeah, if you haven't played this game, it's an experience and it plays nothing like the other Xenoblade games. And this is the one thing that I'm really hoping that they have touched on. They need better tutorials. It needs better explanations of all of the mechanics. And to your point, let's talk about the definitive edition. We know we're getting new story content. We know we are getting graphical overhauls in some areas. But what does this mean in future? Because like you mentioned, when the original got a definitive edition, this kind of opened the floodgates to what was going on.
Yeah.
The definitive edition happened with Future Connected. Will this get the same thing?
Yeah.
An extra side story? Hell yeah. And what does this mean for Xenoblade X's role in the future?
Was Future Connected shown the exact same time as the base game?
It was teased.
Okay.
It was teased. There was a brief shot at the very end with Shulk and Melia looking across Alchemoth.
Okay.
It was just vague enough in which you could think, wait, that doesn't look familiar. Well, what could that be? And then people realize, oh, that's new stuff. So yeah, but now Monolith have kind of said, yeah, we acknowledge Xenoblade X is a thing. Now, it's their choice on what they're going to do with it. But here's the thing though, this is coming out on the base Switch, not the Switch 2. Because in the description, it does not say in whether or not it is going to come out on other consoles. But yeah, sure, this is a prime example of the side-by-side comparisons. Their eyes have definitely got an overhaul, and their features have definitely been softened.
Yeah, they look a lot less uncanny.
Yes, and regarding the lighting engine, look at Lyn compared to this one. Because those of you who don't know, Xenoblade X on the Wii U did not use a dynamic lighting engine.
Oh, did they remove her Monado hair clips?
This is either from one side or the other. Who knows? Again, we'll just have to see regarding this. But man, colour me excited. Because what does this mean in the future? Is it going to mean that we get more X-Love in the future? Are we going to get an X2? Because we don't know what Monolith is cooking up regarding the next Switch. But for me, this is something that we have talked about, anticipated, and discussed to no end. I'm so glad that one, a lot of people get to experience this game, because this game had an online component, don't you know? You can have online interactions with people. And honestly, that can be a helpful thing. But regardless, I am just happy this game and this IP is getting more love. And I love to see what comes next for Monolith in the future. I mean, what are your closing thoughts, if you have any?
Nothing else I can think of, really.
Well, I'm happy to see what they change, what they've kept, and what they've added. Because I am definitely looking forward to that new story content.
Yeah.
Containing Lao, apparently. And that hooded figure. Who is that, and what's that going to tie into? Because my god, it could mean a myriad of things now.
I think back then people speculated that it was the Black Knight because there's models in the art book, and I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Well, we'll have to see indeed. But guys, what are your thoughts and feelings? Did you play Xenoblade X back when it was on the Wii U? I'd love to hear your thoughts. But until then, we're going to speculate, we're going to anticipate, and we'll see you guys next time when more Xenoblade news drops. Well, until then, I've been Alice. Wow! Wow, that was a... I've been Lightning.
I'm Alice.
And I'm my wife. And we flub on Xenoblade news, apparently.
Do you think they're gonna do drip drops?
Well, they've let the cat out of the bag now.
Yeah.
I can imagine they will.
So is it back to Xenoblade news vids?
Yes, we're probably going to get character bios, placement drops, information about scales. I mean, for God's sake, they've got to warm up players regarding the tutorials and emphasize, look, this is different to how the other Xenoblades are played.
This is how Overdrive works. I hope they do a bunch of things on Overdrive, because that was...
They need, again, tutorials and easing players in. Because there are some mechanics and some battle components in which the game does not even tell you about. Doesn't even hint that there could be other things. It's like dropping an entire base of Lego in front of a child. Say, yep, there it is. Work it out yourself. But yeah, I'm hoping they have changed that, and I know we are going to have some fun with this.
Yep.
Until then, guys, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, then please, by all means, like it. And if you want to watch more content or news like this, then please subscribe to see more. And I will see you guys next time. Until then, I've been Lightning.
I'm Alice.
And we'll see you next time. We got through the entire video without Tatsu hate. Yay!